Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the RGM Experience podcast with me, Carl Maloney, that guy from RGM, bothering you again for another week. Here, delving into the grassroots music industry and beyond, and speaking to interesting people within it. And today, ladies and gentlemen, I've got my old mucker from Sheffield, Daz Cadwallander. Hey up, mate. You all right?
Doing, pal?
We've had a rate faff, haven't we, today?
Not half, mate. Not half. Third time lucky, hopefully.
Good old
After torrential rain I've just ran through to get here.
Good lad.
It's worth it.
Well, thanks for joining us, mate. It's just from seeing you make the plunge to going full time into music and just absolutely going for it. I've just been keeping an eye on you, and it's a big, massive thing for anybody to make that kind of decision.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you for doing it, mate. It's a brave one.
Thank you, mate. A lot of people said the same. Sort of in a weird way, I couldn't sort of get, sounds quite depressing, but I couldn't really get any lower. So I thought, you know what? I literally feel like I'm here to do this and I'm just going to go for it. But I've made a lot of sacrifices as well, like even recently, because I'm literally want to give everything to it, like best I can.
Yeah.
So.
Well done, mate. It's a very brave decision, and we'll come to that in a bit. I want to rewind a little bit though, because I've been you for a few years now, mate. It's been a while. Over in Sheffield and all that kind of stuff, and we've had you on RGM gigs. We had you at Tramlines last year or year before, headlining the Thursday pre-gig for us and stuff. And how do you look back on the early days of being in bands when you weren't doing it full time? How do you reflect back on the early days? What was it like?
I was speaking to someone about this yesterday, actually, at a gig. And I think it's important to, as musicians, we all have ideas and goals that we want to achieve, but it's important to enjoy the journey as well. Because I think in my own mind, I've not done in the past, and I've been stuck on things that I want to do. But when I look back realistically, I was in a band called Light Tide and then took my own stuff originally with a full band. I've loved loads of the gigs that we've played, and I've loved the things that we've done. And if you'd have told me when I first started doing music that I'd have done even some of the gigs that I have with them people, my mates, I'd have snatched your hand off and been happy. So, yeah, I've loved it. It's been good. It's been a journey.
It's a journey for everybody, isn't it? Since I packed in being in a band, well, the people around me packed it in because they just started getting serious about life and doing all the that kind of stuff when I just wanted to carry on. But
yeah,
you can't win them all, can you? But
mate.
We're all on a journey in this music industry. I think, for me, I treat RGM as being in a band. I'm always looking for new people to get involved with, build a team, and share stories, and speak to interesting people like yourself today. And part of the love of it is the journey of it, isn't it? We've all got as goals of doing whatever we want to do right at the top or whatever, but it's fun along the way. You shouldn't forget that.
Yeah, I think the reason you've got to remember, why do you ever do it in the first place?
Yeah.
Like I just picked up a guitar, started writing songs, and love doing it. So that having that as the main reason means you'll always just do it forever. That's what I think, anyway.
Yeah. Well, so you move. I know you're from Sheffield. I know you moved about a bit recently, and one big thing about your story is how honest you've been online with your struggles with mental health and all that kind of stuff. That for me has been quite inspirational, just to see you share your story and the things you've been through yourself personally. How has that process been for you, sharing your story online and talking about it really openly on that?
Yeah, I appreciate that as well, Carl. Thank you. Initially, when I spoke after what happened in August last year, I went on to BBC Radio Sheffield about 3-4 weeks afterwards and spoke to Toby Foster. And I was happy I did it afterwards in a way, because I had loads of messages of people that were actually struggling themselves, and saying that they'd not reached out, and I thought, it's helped. But I think at that point it probably was too soon, because I was still processing what happened and I struggled a little bit. But now looking back and how open I am now about it, it's more, even though it's not plain sailing for me still, I still struggle with mental health and certain things about it, but I'm more open about it, and I know now that I can talk and I can get help. And that's proven to me that when you're open about it, other people see that there's help there as well. And it's helped others. So that's the main reason why I do it realistically. It's more to say, look, I've been in that dark place you might be, and you might feel like you're on your own, but you're not.
Yeah.
It's more to do with that.
How comfortable are you talking about what happened?
Say again?
How
Yeah,
comfortable are you
it's fine.
talking about what happened? I don't want to.
No, it's fine. So basically, I did construction recruitment for about 7 or 8 years. Got to associate director level while I was doing my music, but wasn't happy in it. Didn't feel like I was doing what I wanted to do in my life. Wanted to do music,
Quite a
but
pressure. Was it quite a pressurized job? Like,
yeah, it was, and
yeah.
I was earning a lot of money doing that job.
Yeah.
So I've never been good with money.
Okay.
So I got into loads of like loans and stuff, and I started to look at ways of getting out of the job, and started getting into cryptocurrency, and lost like I made lots of money, but then lost like all my money, like 18 grand in a day.
Yeah.
On top of that, I had a really abusive upbringing all my life, to being 16, 17 with my dad, like violently abusive to me and all my siblings, which I ended up getting out of. But all that together and struggling with it and sort of doubting myself and feeling like I was a burden to everyone, come to a conclusion and decided to try and take my own life. I took loads of tablets in Peak District and wrote them a letter. And thankfully, I was found by a couple of cops. I'd like to, one day know who they are and thank them, to be fair, because I think they told them not to, they weren't allowed to take me to hospital straight away. They had to wait to an ambulance. But if they did, then I might not have been here. So they just took the decision to drive me to the hospital. And then hospital sorted me out. I was there for 3 days. And then from there, I started seeing a psychologist once a week. I go to Andy's Man Club. Just try and keep my mind as straight as I can. But the positives of that is it's been like a year and a bit now since that happened. I was on mental health medication for 9 years, and I was used to use alcohol and drugs to sort of distract myself from what happened to me growing up. And when I found things difficult, I've drank recently, but like since I was like 5.5 months sober, and I come off them tablets, and I've like in my mind, in myself, I've actually got to a point where I know my mind better than I ever have. So it's turned like a massive corner in terms of what I'm like now with my own head.
Yeah. So like, after, hospital, you know, got you back on track and all that kind of stuff. What kind of reaction did you have from friends and family after going through like a major thing like that?
Do you know what? This is why I speak so openly about people just saying, I wish you'd speak, because talk out about how you're feeling, because I was so scared of telling them that I want to leave recruitment and that I still have, struggles with my upbringing and stuff. And in reality, all they wanted me to do was be happy. And they was like, if you want to quit your job and do music full time, do it.
Mm.
We'll back you. I was like, that was easy.
Yeah.
And in reality, if you actually sat down with people and had the conversations, then things can work themselves out. 9 times out of 10, I think people that have the idea of committing suicide, if they were to openly speak to someone about how they're feeling, that if I would have spoke to someone that day, I wouldn't have gone through with it, most likely. But thankfully, I'm here to talk about it.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like knowing you, seeing you out and about at gigs, and seeing you at many gigs, and we were all enjoying a few beers back in the day. I still do now, more.
Yeah.
More for me sometimes, but it's still.
Oh no, it's one of them. It's like with alcohol with me, it's a weird one because I've never sort of been dependent, but I do, and I have come to a conclusion, and I have definitely like abused it to forget things in the past. But then at the same time, I've had some amazing nights with friends and at festivals where we've had drinks and it's been hilarious. And I don't look back on them times with negativity. I actually think, fucking hell, that was a good time and a laugh. Do you know what I mean? It's more probably me understanding why I'm drinking or why I want to party. If I'm doing it because I'm trying to forget or I'm having a rough time in life, it's probably best for me to stay away, because I'll just go to the max and just create and be involved in chaos. And that's not good for me, and it's not good for my career, especially now. So,
well, it was kind of like it must have been quite a shock to the people around you as well, because after knowing you for years and not knowing what you were going through, and I was blind to it, I couldn't see it. You just look like a happy lad that will love music, and it's so blind mental health, isn't it? It's so I feel I sometimes feel like why didn't I know? Why couldn't I tell? Why couldn't I like
Yeah,
out
I know what you mean.
sometimes and stuff like that? Like, you know, you kind of feel a little bit guilty for not wanting to speak to you, but we couldn't. I couldn't see it.
No, well, people that love me, they were with me every day. And that's why I struggled afterwards and probably drank more than I ever did. That's why I decided to go completely sober for 5 months, because I was struggling with the fact that everyone else was guilty, felt guilty about it. I was like, it's
Yeah.
not your fault, it's my issue. Like, I felt a certain way and felt like I couldn't speak and felt like I was a burden to people. It's nothing to do with it. The people that love me care about me. It's nothing to do, or friends, or people I've known for years. It's nothing to do with. It's more to do with myself and how I was processing dealing with something. It wasn't anyone else's fault at all, and I struggled then with people feeling guilty. So
Mm.
then I felt guilty. It was like a little revolving door, but like I've come to terms with it now, and it's happened, and I wish it didn't happen. It's still like is the most traumatic thing that's ever happened in my life, but I'm now doing what I love because I was in that dark place. In a weird way, I've like had to get so low to realize why I feel like I'm on earth and doing here to do something that I want to do. So it's every silver lining and all that.
Yeah. What is it about us lads that means that we can't talk? Because my mates and stuff, they don't talk about stuff like that. They just talk about
No.
lad. It's all lads type, thing around me. And
Yeah.
I've got better at talking about things. I think I'm not very good at it at all. I don't think. But like this podcast helps me have conversations with loads of different interesting people and try and think about things more deeply than what I ever have done. And I suppose that comes with age a little bit as well. But
Yeah, I agree with
I,
that.
I still think like there's still an issue with lads being able to open up with each other as well. So.
Massively, massively. My best friends, my lad best friends, I'm lucky because I can speak to them and they understand me and they get it. And I love all my other mates from back home but I'm working from working class mining town where you turn 17, you go out and get on piss.
Yeah.
You don't talk about anything serious.
Mm.
You need to be as mature as you can. Sort your upper lip out, everything will be fine. And that's not the way that realistically lads work. We're complex and we have things in his mind that bother us and we feel pressures in life. And like I did, that's why things got so bad. I felt like I had a responsibility. In reality, I wasn't looking after myself. I was putting everything else before my own mental health, and there's such a stigma still around it, and that does really frustrate me when I still see some like stigma towards mental health, because I think realistically, who is anyone to judge for someone for being open about how they feel and wanting to get help? That's a good thing. It actually takes someone real. It actually makes you stronger to be open about how you're feeling and say, you know what, I've got an issue. It actually takes a lot of balls to do that. So this macho thing is actually like, in my opinion, the opposite, and it's negative. It's
Yeah.
like a negative mindset.
Yeah, well, I've seen your recent posts about Andy's Man Club, and I definitely want to have a talk about those. The good
Yeah.
video, and I'll put a link to them in the description of the podcast too. If anyone's like, needs to have a chat and get together with some blokes and just proper talk, that seems like a great thing. But just what kind of support? Just hanging around where we are at the minute with the conversation. What kind of support is there out there for people that are really struggling? How did you find getting support for it?
So Andy's is one of the best things that I've done.
Yeah.
It's no one's a professional there at all. Like, they're not
Mm.
psychologists, psychiatrists. They're not involved in mental health. They're not, and then they just. But what it is with Andy's, which I like, and why I continue to go straight from going in the first place when I was at rock bottom, is that when you walk through the doors and you understand the people there, a lot of them, although different, everyone's lives are different. There's lots of different reasons why people are there, but they feel and have gone through what you have. So then you automatically have, like, you're not on your own.
Yeah.
And everyone's there to help. And the first question is, how's your week been? Second question is positive from your week. The first question is, something to get off your chest, and then at the end there's two light-hearted conversations, like questions, and you always walk out there feeling better. And from when I first went to now, I'm like it's completely different. I was like a shell. Like now I'm completely different. And I see it all the time where people come, they feel like rock bottom, and then they've been going for a couple of months and got smiles on their faces, and it's just that like now I use it as a reset every week. Like there might be nothing. Like now I'm at a point where I'm sort of managing my mind, and anything that bad happens in my life I can sort of manage, and I'm doing what I love every day, and I'm actually happy in myself. But if anything were to happen, I can go there, and also I just go for like a reset. If there's anything that's nigged me in the week, I'll like right, put it to one side and just go and talk about it there.
Oh no. So like it has that club come up from not having a lot of support from like the NHS or like other medical places?
Yeah, I wasn't gonna like I look in terms of the NHS overall. I think it's an amazing thing, but my experience with it for mental health is not, I can only go on what I've experienced.
Yeah.
It's not being wasn't amazing. I sort of, I was with my partner at the time, and she was like, he attempted to commit suicide, and I just got pushed from pillar to post. Promised that I'd see someone in 2 days. It ended up being 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And then this, what I got put into, that just wasn't. It wasn't really like a support group that I needed or a counsellor. It was just like they were just telling you about CBT and cognitive behavioural therapy, and it was more like lessons. That makes sense. Like they just tell you about what could help you. I was like, well, that's not really for me personally. That wasn't all I needed. I'm not saying it doesn't work for everyone. It's some people it does, but I think there could be better things in play. Well, if you go and speak to a GP now and you say struggle mental health, they'll recommend Andy's Man Club, which for me says it all. Because and also through my drinking, I ended up somehow. I went to recovery steps because I was like, I got to the point where I was becoming uncontrollable with the chaos and just self-destructing all the time. So I went there initially from drinking, but then there's a counselling network through that. So now I see like a psychologist every week, but that was through that. And that's been amazing as well. Like there is support out there. It's just obviously that is to do with like alcohol and drugs, but there is the good thing is Andy's is there, and there is support out there for people. If there's even counselling groups you can go to and pay like a small fee, and you can get like a one-to-one counsellor.
Yeah. So how do I say it? I'm a little bit worried about saying things the wrong way. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
It's funny, isn't it?
It's a touchy subject, isn't it? Like you have to be sort of like careful. But go on, what were you going to?
No. I was just saying, is there anything you can like advise people? Any signs to look out for in people that might be struggling?
It's a weird one because like before I attempted, like most people would have thought it's like you put on like a face to associate it, and then when you're on your own, you like feel like you're just like in this horrible bubble. But if people like, I'd say if people aren't communicating, indulging in alcohol and drugs more than usual, just feeling like they're putting on more of a bravado than usual to be someone that they're not. Those sort of things that I'd probably look out for. Do you think my mates actually said to me years ago when I lived in my house in Sheffield, and just like, I'll be honest, I just used to get absolutely annihilated in the house sometimes on my own. And they were like, "Are you all right?" And I probably weren't then.
Yeah.
But they sort of knew that I was acting out of character, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, well, how do you feel like as of today?
Good. Like recently, I've gone through. I'm not talking about what's happened, but like some personally, but gone through a massive change, and it's because I want to commit my life to music. I've sacrificed something very importantly to me, but I do feel in myself like I've never had as much clarity in my life the last couple of months of what I want to do, and I've been as happy in myself, which is big for me. I've always probably like I might come across confident and stuff, but realistically, I've probably always been like not. It's always been like a bit of a bravado, and like happy-go-lucky and indulging drugs and alcohol to put on like a front. Whereas now I'm generally like happy with who I am, what I'm doing, and what I want to achieve. So yeah, feeling good.
So that big, nice one, mate. I'm really happy to hear that. Just on a personal level, but you know, like the decision to go full time into music is not. It's a very brave one to do. So just talk me through the thought process, what you went through to finally make that decision, and actually.
It was when I was laid in hospital, actually. I just said to everyone, like, "Might just swear on here."
Yeah, yeah.
I just went, "Fuck this! I'm fucking quitting,
yeah.
and I'm gonna make it work." Like, the thing is, that's the good thing. Like, I don't have to do with the trauma because my brothers and my sister have got businesses and they're doing really well. And whenever we decide that we're going to do something, we do it. Like, I did really well in recruitment. Like, I started as a trainee and got to like associate director level. And I don't know why with music, I believe in myself to an extent, but there's always someone on my shoulder going, "Oh, well," it's like when I busk and someone tells me that they like one of my songs, I'm like, "Oh, really? Thanks." It's like, so I just thought, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to do it and I'm going to make it work. And since then, I've realized how much more I've got out of it doing it full time. The opportunities have been bigger than usual. Like, I've got a manager now, and next year is going to be like amazing. I just know it is, like, already. Like, we've got so much planned. I've never had as much structure, and that's all really because I had the balls to just go fuck it. And now everything's working, and things that are happening that I always wanted to happen. So, yeah.
It was beautiful to see you playing like gigs like Why Not. I've just been looking for some promo pictures just on your Facebook thing and just seeing you with that big crowd behind you. And
that is literally my favourite ever gig. And that was just me and acoustic guitar. And it was songs that I've written in the past year, which I'm going to start releasing next year. But it was like, you know, gigs I played before, O2, Academy, upstairs one, not the main one, and then Leadmill, which was the biggest gig I've played as an headline show. But the Why Not gig is by far the best. I just felt like I was just me as an artist, authentically. Like, the songs that are personal to me, and the crowd responded amazingly. And like, people that I'd never seen before, and they were all coming up afterwards. And I promised this kid that I was sitting supporting the Rosadocs before a set list, if I signed one. And I went to get him, but then there was like other people wanting it. I was like, this is weird. Like, don't know any of you. And it's like, it was just like a full circle moment to just be from where I were back in August to doing that show, which a festival I've always wanted to play. It's always been on the bucket list. And just people loving the songs that I've written since then. It was like, this is what I want to do. Like, this is why I'm doing it.
You mentioned the Rosadocs there. They're nice boys, aren't they, from our part?
Yeah, they're good lads. Good lads. They all are, actually. There's not one of them that's a bad egg. I'm good mates with Miles, so that's how that sort of comes about. It's funny, actually, because I do take the piss out of him, because
I do like Miles, but I'm
going to say it on here and he'll go, "Why the fuck?" But he was playing bass for me when we played the O2 and stuff, and obviously, like, Rosadocs are doing bigger things, and they were on this like journey at the time. And he went, "Oh, well, I'm going to leave band, mate, because I want to focus doing more production and, you know, doing stuff like that. And I ain't got time for it."
Okay.
I don't know his pal. And I got Miles a job in recruitment working with me as well. Like 2 weeks later, it said, "We're happy to announce Miles has joined the Rosadocs." I'm like, "Mate, why don't you just fucking tell me? I've been fine." So I still like pose like with that. But they are class. And I supported them at Real Time Live a couple of weeks ago, like last month at Chesterfield, and that was a brilliant night, brilliant gig. And I'm really happy for them because they graft the nuts off and they've got good songs. And Miles actually is an amazing songwriter, to be fair. So I know they'll just go on, keep going now. The sort of world's in front of them, sort of thing. So yeah.
Well, I can remember first having them on. I always say it's the first ever gig I put them on, but I think they did one more before. The Washington in Sheffield. Like, it's just and that was many years ago, probably 8-9 years ago, something like that. I can't really remember now, but just to see them blossom now, just announcing, doing a big tour and that kind of stuff. It's lovely to see those people that have just proper grafted, done it
Yeah.
the grassroots venues and gradually got bigger and bigger and bigger, and they've got this big audience now. It's so nice to see that community around you doing well, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's also like people don't realise that that's a proper graft, a slog, like because
Yeah,
a lot of bands, you know, they might last. They don't last because people, some things happen with lives, like people end up getting married or have kids or whatever, and responsibilities change. But
yeah,
it's also just having the drive to just keep going
yeah.
and keep releasing music and just not getting up. Like that's a big like attribute in itself. And to be 8 years to now reaping the rewards shows that hard work pays off. So
Well, when bands ask me for advice, and how do you crack on and that kind of stuff, I kind of point out bands like Rosa Docs. Just look what they do online, and the funny videos they do when they're announcing big shows and all that kind of stuff. It's just class, isn't it? And
yeah,
they make such an effort, and they do really really strong production stuff and funny videos and all that kind of stuff with them. And same like the Ratings. Well, they're all from our part of town, really. The bands that are doing well, but
yeah.
just to they, they're doing it in a way where they're not flogging something to people online.
No, they're not. It's authentic, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's like it's natural, and I think that's one of the major things, and one of the reasons why I sort of ripped up the script completely with what I want to do as a solo artist. So I used to have a band, and it was all indie rock stuff.
yeah,
Whereas now I'm just like writing songs, which like sort of storytelling, whether it be my experience or people that I know. And all these demos that I've got down now are the best songs that I've ever written, and also I produce. And it's just like I'm so excited. It's going to be good because next year I'm going to play a lot of acoustic shows,
yeah.
but then I'm also going to have, when we play festivals and stuff, a band.
Yeah.
So there's a band called Sundress. Have you heard? They played Tramline's main stage this year.
Sundress.
Yeah, they're really good. The Sheffield based, really good. They played Rock and Roll Circus, Kendall Calling, but they're kindly going to session play for me, and I'm producing with their guitarist. So it's all like we're a little community in that sort of form as well. So I'm excited to be able to play the songs in the full capacity next year. What we're going to be doing when we play the bigger shows.
Oh, nice. And busking, what's that like? For me, it just seems like, oh God, just putting yourself out there naked, just with an acoustic guitar and a little.
It literally is that
In a city centre with people walking past and just walking past on the phone. I could just imagine just loads of rude people about, but I can imagine.
You know what? I've actually only had, in all the times I bust, which is quite a lot since last year, 2 rude people.
Wow.
Only 2, and they were quite funny.
Go on.
So one of them went, one walked past, and he went, "Oh, too loud."
Well, that
and this other one went, "You're not making any money sounding like that."
Where were it, Barnsley?
No, it was actually Sheffield, but they actually sounded like they were from town, to be fair.
Oh,
Barnsley, but they were both on the same day, which is weird. And I shit you not, I've not had anyone nasty or negative. Like the amount of people, it is really. I was actually speaking to someone about it yesterday. Like, mate, fair play to you for busking. Yeah. When I busk, I only play my own music 95% of the time. Yeah. Because I want to try the new songs, or I even sometimes write when I'm busking, which sounds weird. Yeah. And then I'll send the drafts to people that I'm working with and say, "What do you think?" But because I play my own songs, when you have people coming up to you, it's usually like middle-aged or older women saying, "Oh, you've got a lovely voice. Like, it's really nice." But it's actually nice that they actually think, "Do you know what? This is a good song." And then you get people coming talking to you and like standing with you for a minute or two and listen to 2 more of your songs and like, mate, they always get you, "Oh, mate, you should be on The Voice or X Factor," something like that. But it's like, it's just nice. But I bust on Tuesday last week in Sheffield for the first time in ages. If I went and played to, I don't know, 1,000 cap, played the biggest gig I've ever played, I'd be like, fine. But I was more nervous on Tuesday because I'm not bussed for so long. It was like, oh, I'm going to try these new songs. I wonder what people are going to be like. And it was fine. After a couple of songs in, you're like, it's like you're just playing to yourself. And you have to sort of go into like this zone. You're just playing on your own and people are just passing. It's fine. It is what it is.
How do you pick the spots to do it? I'm a bit fascinated with busking. I'm like, I see him a lot in Manchester when I'm out and about, and I always stop and watch him and chuck a quid or something or whatever. But it's just like it's a brave thing to do, to put yourself out there. And how do you like find your spot and stuff? And do you have to have a license? Is there stuff you need to?
No, I thought you
Oh,
did, but like as long as it's public land, to my knowledge,
yeah,
someone might correct me if I'm wrong, but I've never been told to go
yeah,
anywhere or anything.
yeah,
There's only been one occasion in Leeds where I had a bit of a deal with what this guy he comes up to everyone by the sounds of it. And like I've got to know people who also busk, like Leonie. She was on The Voice, and Charlotte Branson's doing her music, and she busts. So got to know them well, and I've like gone busking with them as well before. So they know the circuit and know the spots in certain places.
yeah,
Like the Sheffield one seems to be like the more market outside the main door. But it depends what you're wanting. It depends whether you're doing it for money, or it depends if you're just doing it to sort of like test. Like I literally bust now to test new tracks. So I'll just want as many people to walk past as possible. So like the other day, I set up outside the Howard pub near Showroom Cinema because I knew there's going to be loads of people passing from train.
yeah.
And if there's one or two people follow me that day and think, oh, I like your music, and that's a winner. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I love it.
Well,
It's good.
money's important. We all need to pay his bills and that kind of stuff. So, is there a particular reason why you don't go down the money route as well? I won't blame you for.
Yeah, I think I will. I think I will eventually when I need to get some more stands and stuff to like do TikTok lives because I've got capacity to do that now. And I've been told like that is a game changer. Like even financially, like you can make a lot of money from doing lives. So I'll probably do that. Still do my own tracks, but then chuck in like the odd live cover or whatever.
Yeah. So, how was like getting out there in the world? Like because you've made this decision to go full time in music. I presume it's a good way of just getting out of the house and getting out into the public and just getting like real life feedback straight from
Yeah,
people, I suppose.
that's the beauty of it. Before when I did recruitment, like you can try and do so much, like, but in my opinion, you can try and do so much when you've got a full time job, but you can do so much more
Mm,
if you just decide to do it full time. Like I gig probably 3 to 4 times a weekend,
mm,
and then earn money from the gigs, and then also I've got so much more time to do exactly what I need to be doing or want to be doing in
yeah,
terms of songwriting, studio time,
nice.
for content. Like it's the world that we live in now as a musician, like content. Like
Yeah.
I was doing that challenge where I'm writing a song a day, which I'm going to start doing again. And it
Mm.
just means that I've got time to do everything that I want to within the music world, meet people, network, go busking, just everything. It's all like available to do because I've got the time to do it.
I was going to ask you about that challenge thing. I was having to do something every day. And how long did you do that for? It was a long time, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's only because recently, like I said, I've had that change, and I'm going to move to Sheffield. But
Yeah.
when I get settled there, I will be doing it again.
Yeah.
I got today 119,
Wow.
and some of the songs that I've been recording are because of that challenge.
Yeah.
I feel like I got so much better as a songwriter because of that challenge. Because I was trying different tunings on the guitar, different keys, just trying loads of different things and pushing the boat out, like getting out of the comfort zone.
Yeah.
I think it's important as a musician to not get stagnant and just, I know this works. Like that's how I've developed. I'd like to think as a songwriter and just got better at it. I think,
Yeah.
but it was
So
a challenge. But it was people like, how the fuck are you managing to do it every day? I was like, I don't know, I'm weird. I actually was able to write songs before I could play guitar. Or
yeah.
I was just always my best mate was Tom, who was in Lightning Threads. He was like, he dragged me to Imperial in Mexico to go to open mic nights. That's how we started out at like 16.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not doing that. I can't sing. I can't play guitar. He's like, mate, you can write songs. I don't even know, like, how can you do that? So then I just started going and trying these songs that I wrote then. And thought, oh, actually, quite enjoy this. I'm going to get going.
But old Tom's, he's still wearing his hat.
Yeah, he is. He is cowboy hat.
Nice lad, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's like he's been really supportive of you. It
Say again?
feels like he's been really supportive of like, getting you started and stuff, Tom.
Yeah. He has. He was like a massive help, to fair, big inspiration. And like, I probably wouldn't have gone to them open nights without him. And then I just started playing from there. So it's a bit of a shame because he's on it all the time touring. and I'm playing all over the place, so we don't get to see each other's sets. But I'm sure when we've got to a point where we've got some free time, we will be able to again.
Nice one. So an exciting year coming up next year. Is there anything you can tell us about it yet?
There's certain things I can't, but there is just basically going to be so much like new music. Like from January, I'll probably listen to a song every 6 weeks, which I've never done before. I've got 8 demos down already, and I think that we're going to aim for 15. So next year, there's before new music. There's some support slots which I can't announce yet because they aren't announced themselves, but they're pretty big. I've got headline shows in the running, which are different to what I've done in the past, but bigger in the sense of what they are. And some festivals which haven't been announced yet, so I can't say what they are, but they're the biggest ones I've played.
Nice.
So it's all looking very exciting.
I'm really proud of you, mate. And I just think you've earned you've earned next year. It sounds like it's gonna be a cracking time. I'll be supporting you throughout doing whatever we do. I never excited about what we do, but you know what I mean. I think that's just a Yorkshire thing where it's just like you never presume as a Yorkshireman, you never pretend.
No, that's true.
That whatever you do is that important. I suppose that's how I feel about it anyway. But we were
I agree. I think it's a weird thing. Do you know, like people that are creatives, that no matter what you do, creatives in general, musicians, like podcasts, magazines, art, you've always got like this belief that you can do it, but then there's always someone saying, "Oh, no one actually cares." At the same time, you're like constantly battling yourself.
Yeah, that's completely me. I'm just like, well, I'll do these things because I love it and I love to speak to people and it helps me out in a selfish way. Just get better at communicating and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I just think there's not a lot of people. There's some great podcasts out there, but there's not a lot of us, out there championing new music and sharing people's stories and experiences.
I agree.
Because that's what people buy into, isn't it? The person, the story, their experiences, the music, obviously. But kind of music kind of comes further down the line of somebody liking you as an artist or a person.
Definitely. I think if you look at for example, let's use Stan Fender as an example.
Yeah.
How many people from Newcastle love him? Yeah. Because he's a grassroots person that's working class and he still goes to the same boozer. Yeah. And he's not changed. But then his music's amazing, so it helps. It's like they like him as a person, don't they?
Yeah. Well, let's champion Andy's Man Club again. Making out for your day. So I'll put a link to the description to check out exactly what the great people at Andy's Man Club do. I presume it's called Andy.
Yeah, it was. Well, yeah. It was the reason why it was created. The guy that he committed suicide, and then his brother-in-law who played for Wakefield rugby team, he decided to set it up, but that's why it's called Andy's Man Club. I always get confused with Man's Club or Man Club. Yeah, Andy's Man Club. Yeah. I'm gonna get tattooed actually on me. I'm gonna get some more tattoos next month, but that's one of them. So.
Yeah, nice. So yeah, we'll put a link in there. There'll be a link straight to your activity online because people are going to need to bookmark that just to see what you're going to get up to next year. As I said before, mate, I'm dead proud of you. I wish you all the best for the new year. You deserve it, mate. Well done.
Thank you, mate. Means a lot.
Nice one. And just before I let you get on with your day today, pal, is there anything you'd like to share with the people that have supported your busking and just supported you?
Just want to say thank you, really. Like, I don't think people realise how much. I put it on my story the other day on Instagram. Someone was replied to my story saying, "Mate, you've come so far. You're absolutely smashing it. These demos sound amazing." Now, like, that's made me feel like so just like happy. I don't think people realise how much support means to musicians. Like, so I just want to say thank you, really, because I've had more support and like new fans come on board and come to my gigs and wear me tops and come to, they've come to Lincoln, they've come to Leeds, they've gone all over. I just want to say thank you to them, really, mate. So, yeah.
Yeah, nice one. Well, Daz, really appreciate you joining us for catching up this week, mate. Can't wait to see what you're going to get up to next year. I'm a nosy bastard, so I thought I'd ask. Even though I knew you weren't going to be able to tell us out, but just space, I think people and Yeah, so thanks for everybody for listening to this podcast right to the end. It's very much appreciated. There's links in the description to the podcast to Daz's great work and his man club. Just get involved, bookmark Daz's stuff, keep it on your inbox. Have you got like a mailing list and that kind of stuff, Paul?
Yeah, I've got a mailing list now.
Yeah.
See, before I had a manager, I was probably like a little bit of a no, a busy fool. Well, my voice is going. It's not good. Busy fool. Because when we sat down, he was like, "Right, what's your plans for the rest of the year?" I went, "Release a song and do an headline gig." I'm like, "Yeah, but then what?" I was like, "Right, we're gonna do this, and next year we're gonna have a big year." And he's like got me to help sort of mailing list out. We're gonna do a website, get these cards and things so people can scan, and got me to set up a link tree. Just a lot more structure in what I'm doing, which I think helps in this day and age.
Nice one.
But yeah, you can find the mailing list on my Instagram. It's on my TikTok, I think, as well. But you can find it on my Instagram in my banner bio.
I'll find it so people don't have to follow it. Just look in the description of this podcast and get involved with the mailing list. Let's support Daz to the end. Next year sounds like a busy year. Just really appreciate you joining us today, mate. And yeah, thanks again. Cheers, pal.
Thanks for having me, pal. Cheers, mate.